All right, I'm Jason Whitlock. That's Marcellus Wiley, that dude.
Yes, sir.
Another great suit, my man.
My man.
All right, welcome to Speak For Yourself, the most fearless show in sports. Coming up, we'll tell you people are seriously underestimating the Trailblazers against Golden State. But we start today with the NBA draft. Zion Williamson wishes he could return to Duke. So do I. The dumbest thing in basketball, the biggest obstacle preventing the NBA from gaining ground on the NFL is the association's failure to figure out a way to keep its youngest talent in college for 3 or 4 years. The one and done rule is bad business for the NBA and the college game. Letting kids go straight from high school to the league is even worse business. No one dislikes NCAA amateurism more than me. My desire to see future Zion stay in school has nothing to do with keeping amateurism in place. My desire to see the NBA financially reward its best prospects to stay in college for multiple years. I want more Zions. Prospects who arrive in the NBA already ratings-driving, hope-inspiring TV stars. Tonight, the NBA holds its most compelling draft lottery since the 2003 LeBron James sweepstake. The NBA draft used to be a big deal every year. Before, kids skipped school altogether and now just spend 1 year in college building a brand. Zion is the rare prospect excited enough to generate 3 years of hype in 1 season at Duke, and even he'd prefer another year in school.
I mean this 100% when I say this. If I could come back for a second year and play, I would. Being at Duke was a dream come true for me. It was the best year of my life. Unfortunately, that's just not the reality we live in.
The NBA needs to change that reality. You grow better players in college. It's a superior training ground than the end of an NBA bench or the G League. It's no coincidence that Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, C.J. McCollum, and Klay Thompson all spent at least 3 years in college. College is where you learn how to compete, how to put the team goals ahead of individual goals. Like NFL players, NBA players should be developed in college. The guys selected at the top of the NFL draft are expected to come in and help a team win right away. There isn't one rookie playing for the Trailblazers, Warriors, Raptors, or Bucks. Portland's Zach Collins is the lone 21-year-old who'll get any minutes during the conference finals. These 19 and 20-year-old babies the NBA allow into their league have absolutely zero to do with winning. It's a waste of money. It would be smarter to give Trae Young, the Atlanta rookie, a $2 million check on this year's draft night for staying in college an extra year. You realize before this past season, the only time LeBron missed the playoffs was when he was a teenager learning the pro game. Creating more Zions should be the NBA's goal, not being fair to a handful of kids who can score meaningless buckets while finishing puberty. All right, joining the desk now is NBA champion and non-college player Steven Jackson and Yahoo Sports NBA insider Chris Haynes. All right, Marcellus, I'll start with you. Would prospects playing longer in college improve the NBA?
I mean this 100%. If I could, Whitlock, I would stay another year. What's the cue card? What's the cue card? Because I really mean this. What the hell? Nobody forcing you to leave, bro. Oh, that money is. You don't want to get them buckets to college for free another year. It's amazing that these guys get caught up to the noise and they listen to it to the point where they actually got to sell something to the noise when in reality, this is for you. Zion, right. This was your best year ever. You know why? Because it was your last great year. Guess what next year is going to be? Even better, brother. You're going to get that check, you're going to get that opportunity, and you, because you're going to go to a sorry team, is going to get an opportunity to go out there and make it even a greater year. So why limit yourself in this capacity? I'm still going to class. For what? I went to an Ivy League school. I knew smart people who don't even go to class extra times.
I believe, Zion, you don't. But get to my point.
What's your
Would
point?
the NBA be better if the kids stayed longer in college?
I was trying to kill you with them jokes. Now I'm real dope. Hell no, hell no. I mean, we're not even going to go the none and dones because we know that list LeBron, Kevin Garnett, Kobe.
Tracy.
Tracy McGrady, Sean Kemp. Let's go back. Let's talk about the one and dones to keep it apples to apples in Zion. And there's a little full screen here to support this. The Kevin Durant, Derrick Roses, Kyrie Irving. I picked their first 3 seasons to make it match up to what they would have given the collegiate level versus what they gave the NBA. 25, 20, 20, 21. Guys hit the ground running, and it's not an anomaly to see a guy hit the ground running. Those numbers support that, and even more. So, to my point, you can't get the toothpaste back in the tube. The branding is out in terms of when you see a roster in college and it's juniors and seniors, first thing you think about is what? Oh, they ain't good enough to go pro yet. So now you're going to try to rebrand the upperclassmen at the collegiate level? You can't do it. Take your butt to the pros and get that money.
Yeah, I didn't realize Coach K was kicking Zion out of school. Like, yeah. And see, what makes you believe? Well, hold on, before I go any further, what makes you believe that he truly meant what he said by he?
Please,
because there's no other reason to say it.
What?
There's no upside to saying that. He truly believes, like a lot of guys. Look, man, the lack of responsibility for a lot of people is the key to happiness, and having a job is responsibility. Playing in college, having fun, playing 30, 35 games a year, that's a cake life for a guy like Zion if you're playing at a Duke or some of these major colleges. It can be fun. It may not be as financially rewarding, but it can be fun.
I think it's all talking points and the good recruiting points for
kids coming in.
Kids coming in. Want to stay and all that, but please. Like, nobody's forced to. You can go back.
Go back.
But look, I'll say this. We talking about, yes, it would improve the value of the NBA.
Thank you.
But look, it would if you're allowing guys to come in and stay 3 years of college, 2, 3 years of college, because they will be more developed. But look, I'm a firm believer. I know most people would agree with me. College isn't for everybody. I firmly believe that. I believe if you have a supreme skill, you should be allowed to get that boy. That's proof over there. That's proof over there right there.
We'll get there.
That's proof over there. But usually, you go back to the Patrick Ewing days, Charles Barkley, those guys stay. I get it, but also, Whitlock, we have to understand, man, the chances of an injury occurring, that can occur in college, and you're not able to reap your full financial benefits. That is something they have to weigh considerably.
Listen, I agree with that, and I'm for the NBA financially compensating these guys because I just think it's better than having guys. Trae Young put up a bunch of meaningless buckets in Atlanta this year. He ain't contributed, nobody winning nothing, and none of these young guys really are. The game would be better if the players, and again, I'm not talking about what's right or wrong. I'm saying, would the game be better if they were trained up in college and sent to the NBA as men?
Well, if you were saying the same thing about Trae as you were saying about Ben Simmons when he won it, I respect it.
Ooh.
But you're not saying the same thing.
He didn't set out his rookie year for one.
But he still won Rookie of the Year, and it was meaningless.
It was.
So same thing, Trae. So if you going to be on the team, play your best, and if you get an individual award, that's on you. But to answer your question, I feel like I would rather come out in the NBA and go out of high school and struggle than have to sit there and make a high-post sounding video to bring recruits in to make it seem like I enjoyed college.
Yeah.
I would rather just go straight to the NBA now. Like he said, some people made for college, some people's not. I wasn't made for college. And I wish I would have went to college, to be honest, because the college I signed with ended up winning the national championship my freshman year. And I ended up, I was strong enough to go through overseas and bounce around to get back to the NBA. Everybody's not built like that, so it depends on the person to me.
All right, Stack, here's what I just want you to come out of your player mindset and just pretend you're the owner of an NBA team and you just want the value of your league to go up. Would you not admit the game was better served by more experienced players coming into the NBA? A lot of these young guys just sucking up minutes. They're not really contributing to the overall health of the game until these guys get to be 21, 22, 23 years old.
Well, if a scout goes and picks a player that's not ready, that's on the scout. You can't blame the kid for taking the opportunity.
Kids are drafted off potential. Now, if they were drafted off of who can help us win next year, a lot of these guys, other than Zion, a lot of these guys would be going a lot lower in the draft.
Yeah, but I always go back to the 18-year-old. If you can go to war at 18, you should be able to provide for your family at 18.
You know what's weird, though? Looking at the list of the people that you're using to support your argument, when we talk about Steph and Clay, Lillard, and McCollum, only Lillard hit the ground running and is a close version to what he is now. If you look at Steph, it took him to year 4. Clay, year 4. You talk about C.J. McCollum, year 3. None of those guys, and they stayed in college. And then they came to the NBA, and it's a different world. It's a different level. So to stay in college, you still got to make the adjustment. You still got to get up to that next level.
But then you got to think about all the people that's trying to get in the NBA. That window is small. You get hurt or anything can happen. Guys trying to take your spot daily.
All right, let's move on to this.
Yeah.
I believe Zion Williamson is a can't-miss prospect. I think he's in the same boat, not quite LeBron, but in that same boat as LeBron James. Do you feel like Zion's can't miss?
Not like LeBron. Once you say LeBron, I'm off. Like I'm in a different conversation. Because LeBron is top 5 if you're a hater. He's top 3 probably if you're really looking at basketball and giving it really his proper value. You can be great. You could be amazing. You could be excellent. You could be Anthony Davis. Is Anthony Davis top 50 all time? Some would say no. Some would say maybe he's surging to that place. But the point is, a perennial all-star is still not LeBron. LeBron's another echelon. In the future Hall of Famers, he's in that private room that most can't get into. So to say he's going to be like LeBron, so many leagues.
The anticipation is the same, though.
Yeah,
the
hype.
The anticipation.
But again, you're talking about LeBron where he has finished at. When LeBron came into the league, everybody was like, oh, my God, he's going to take over.
Right.
He's going to take. You don't have that same feeling about Zion?
I don't. Even though he's a finesse bully ball player, he doesn't play bully ball, but he has the ability to, but he's a finesse style player. I don't see
LeBron came in polished. He came
You don't
in polished.
see Zion as the face of the NBA over the next.
No, you still got KD, you got Steph Curry, you got a lot of guys
No,
in the
I'm
league.
not talking about immediately, but I'm talking about when I say can't.
He's a media star.
Yeah, but immediately he's going to be a star. But I'm saying you don't think 5 years from now he's going to be the top player in the league and the face of the league?
I don't.
Why not?
I just feel like his talent is already to the point where he's almost reached his peak.
Damn.
He can learn how to shoot, and he can lose some weight. But as far as anything else, he's an athlete. And I've seen a lot of guys that come in the game that can jump, they're real explosive. If they don't add nothing to their game, they stay the same their whole career. When an athlete loses athleticism, he really doesn't have anything to his game. So if he can add some stuff, maybe, but as of now, I don't see it.
I wouldn't, me personally, I wouldn't call him a can't miss prospect. I would call him a can't pass over prospect at the number 1. Because I think whoever passes, if they pass on him at number 1, then that owner, that GM is going to be ridiculed for life if this guy ends up turning out to be who you think. Yeah, you got to draft him just from that. Like, even if you're waffling, like Ja Morant, I had him on my podcast last week. Even if you're waffling between those two, you got to go with Zion just because, people like yourself and everybody else believe he's going to be the next LeBron. I don't know, Whitlock, I don't know. To me, I knew LeBron was going to be a star. I did. I don't know with him. I know he has the potential. I know he has the tools. It's something we've never seen before. But I'm not sold, but at the same time, I'm not sold he's going to be a scrub.
And help me out with this then. How did y'all feel about, and I know this is years ago and you were just a baby, or I don't know, maybe you're not even alive, but when Charles Barkley came into the league.
I was 3.
Did you not think he was going to be I just don't understand. Okay, maybe the guy won't be LeBron or Jordan, but you telling me you don't feel comfortable this dude's going to be as good as Charles Barkley?
Put it like this. It's not going to be the number 1 draft pick and we're looking at him like Ola Candy. It's not going to be that, okay? we understand he's going to be a star, but we don't know how high he's going to go.
You know why? I think there's 2 forces that is happening now than happened when Barkley came out. Barkley, if you look at a roster from number 6 through 9 that played in the NBA then, they weren't the same talent level as what you see right now, the athleticism. It was a different talent then. So a guy like a Barkley can come out there and bully his way because it wasn't the most talented of guys. Collectively.
More athletic. Yeah.
More athletic.
Yeah.
Now, shoot.
Barkley had a jump shot too, though.
No, I know Barkley was amazing at all levels, but it was an easier situation to walk into in terms of athleticism. You're playing that card. You play that card now, you in the gym with a lot of people. Now, because I watched Andrew Wiggins is going around right now with his mixtape from high school. And social media pressure with the likes and clicks and how big you are in that presence has really allowed people to start saying people are greater than they are. LeBron didn't even have social media influence when he came out. It was just like, oh, he was on the cover of SI.
Right.
Like now, if you're on the cover of SI, so what? What's your Instagram look like?
Right.
So he's coming in with a different presence and pressure that I think is kind of hyping him up a little more than maybe he could live up to.
I just see a body that's going to get better. I believe the guy's going to get in better shape. I believe his first step for a guy his size is amazing.
Insane.
I think he puts it on the floor better than people give him credit for. I think he plays with an energy and a ferociousness and a joy and a passion that's going to overwhelm the NBA. I see a better Charles Barkley, but again, I may be wrong. Y'all see something different.
Well, the only thing that I want to see is in college he was able to jump over and overpower everybody. He won't be able to do that every night in the NBA. This guy's just as athletic, just as strong as him. He won't be able to do that. Now, will he die when guys compete and knock him down? You got to see all this stuff as a young guy. We can say he's going to lose weight, he's going to get in shape, all that, because he's going to be in an NBA system. But when he get knocked down, he's going to get up. The first time he missed 4 or 5 shots, is he going to shoot again? We got to see him grow first.
The hype is there. The hype is there. When you compare to LeBron and Kevin Durant coming into the league, the hype is there. But that's where I can relate to, because I remember with LeBron and KD. But you knew they were going to come in and give you buckets.
Yeah.
You knew that. I don't know that. Like, I don't know that with Zion.
Why not?
You know he's going to dunk on some people.
I mean, look, there's a couple things. Like, look, his physical makeup, he's 6'6".
I was about to say that.
Yeah, he's really about 6'6". What position? And I know we're in a positionless game right now, but there's a lot of question marks more with him than we had with KD and LeBron, guys who came into the league. That's it. I'm not saying I don't know what he's going to be, but I just know that there's too much pressure placed on that pick to pass on him at number 1.
Even with John Morant, we know he's going to be a point guard, like he said.
Point guard.
Point guard.
What do you say that on, Stephen? What?
Okay,
I'm sure. I'm making sure. I appreciate
Stick
that.
around. Steven Jackson and Chris Haynes are back.
Don't do that
Time
again.
now for a big story. Let's move to the Western Conference Finals, where the Warriors will be without Kevin Durant for Game 1 tonight against the Blazers. But Las Vegas doesn't seem to care, with Steph and company opening at 7.5-point favorites over Portland. Obviously, we know what even a short-handed Warriors team is capable of, but Portland has been a popular dark horse this postseason and just pulled off a clutch win in Game 7 on the road. I think this line is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And as you insinuated yesterday, Marcellus, it brought me off my gambling band or funk. I had to hop on this line.
You hopped on?
Yeah, I had to hop on. I'm sorry. 7.5 is too many points. I actually think Portland's going to win tonight. I think Golden State felt like they won the NBA championship last week when they beat Houston, and they're going to be a little off tonight.
I mean, look, Golden State has to have a little issue with the way that they won that Houston series without Durant. That's not sustainable. Let's just be real. Who's going to be shocked if Portland wins tonight and I guess pulls off the upset? Iguodala went out there and hit, 5 threes? He ain't did that since 2013.
Right.
Sean Livingston had double digits. He ain't had that since January. They got plenty of length and depth in Portland. 2 stars neutralized without KD on both sides. I'm not shocked, not surprised at all. Portland wins.
I don't believe in all that under and over. I was on the 8 seed to be the 1 seed, and they had us getting beat 4-0 and getting blown out every game.
We believe team.
We believe team. So I don't really believe in all that. When you have a guy like Dame and CJ, they come into play. I know Steph has laying and sleeping. He's waking up. Oh, Dame time. I know Dame is waking up, cooking, the chef. They thinking about each other. Trust me, it's going to be a good game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way. I think all these guys will come to play, and I have to say this again. Brookfield will be in the building.
For sure.
Yes, they will.
There's so much disrespect when it comes to the Blazers and their chance in this series. I was looking at scrolling through the late great Marcellus Wiley's Instagram account.
Late great. Don't do that. That's just a meme. Those jokes.
Hold on, this what he posted.
This is a good one, though.
This what he posted. If Lillard goes off against the Warriors the same way he did against OKC, while McCollum plays like he did in Game 7 against Denver, and the Blazers supporting cast gives it their absolute all, I can definitely see the Warriors winning 4.
Awesome. Awesome. That was good.
That is complete disrespect right there. Look, man, I'm going to tell you right now, Dame is ready for this.
Yes,
man.
sir.
Yeah.
Dame is ready for this. Now, I hope everybody else on this team is ready for him. Like I know how Dame is. I spoke with him. He's locked in. I know CJ's locked in. You know, my only issue is just collectively, is there enough right there to get 4 games in a 7-game series against one of the best teams ever? I don't know. But look, if there's something special to be had, if there's something special that can be accomplished this year, I wouldn't dismiss them. I wouldn't dismiss Portland like that.
I don't think that Golden State, just tonight, emotionally, after what they accomplished against Houston and all this celebrating they've been doing, and now sitting there, they're going to miss KD for at least this game and maybe the first 2 games. I just don't think that what they tapped into to beat Houston, to make up for KD, I don't think they can just tap back into it against Portland. And so I think they're actually going to kind of relax and be thinking, when KD gets back, that's when we're going to handle this series.
I disagree. They professionals. They champions. They know what's at stake. I don't think Steve Kerr and Mike Brown gonna let these guys come out and lay an egg this first game. They're gonna come out and be ready to play. One thing about it, I know Steph and Clay, they know they're better with KD, but it feel good going out here knowing he's not out there and I can really get off. They really thinking that. And Steph knows there's gonna be a lot of times where he's gonna be matched up on Dame. So he got to be ready to play. This ain't like last series where they just pick and roll and force you to guard guys. You have to guard Dame because of the way the matchups are set up. So it's going to be interesting to me.
Well, tell me this, Jax. There are two different mindsets. One is we're not going to have KD for the rest of this series.
Right.
Houston, okay, we good. Now there's another one where it's looming. He's coming back, but we don't know when exactly. Does that mess with your psyche?
No, because like I said, these guys professionals. They ain't even thinking about KD right now. We got a job to do right now. If he come back, that's fine. We didn't win the championship without him. We know how to win without him. If he comes back, then that'll be a plus. But let's just take care of business and not worry about him coming
No issue
back.
with the chemistry.
No
in that
issue.
regard.
You can't at this point.
Here's my other question for Chris and you, Jack, about Dame Lillard. And you talk his hometown, his city, they all gonna be in the house. But can he get too emotionally caught up? Could this be too much intensity, focus, passion? This trying to go back to the Bay and win there. Can it work the other way as well?
Well, I think it's going to be different this time because he's had experience in big games in Golden State, in the playoffs and in regular season. He had 40 points the last time he played there. I think the way he played in that first series and the way he was able to realize his game and how much energy he used in the first series and was able to step back and let his partner win the second series for him, I think they're focused. And I think he's going to lock in. It's going to be a different Dame this series, I think.
They play at least 3 or 4 times a year. If you look, I don't have the stats on me on top of my head right now, but I believe he's averaging close to 30 or 30 plus.
30 plus.
Playing against the Warriors throughout his career. He's all right. He's going to be able to handle that. Like, Dame, I'm telling you, Dame is a different dude, man. Like, he's a different cat. Like, this guy really feels like the way the world is against him and all these odds. Like, he's seeing what everybody. I trust him. I know he's going to come to play. I'm not doubting him. The team, I got to see.
Turner, all those guys.
Ooh, and those two disappeared. We talked about Mo Harkless and Embiid last series.
Yeah,
So and you brought up Zach Collins, one of the youngest guys. You got to depend on him.
He got the most heart.
I'm concerned. He does have heart.
Whitlock and Wiley, joined now by Fox NFL analyst Mark Schlereth and former Pro Bowl linebacker DeQuell Jackson. All right, let's move to Denver, where John Elway and the Broncos continue their search for a franchise quarterback in this year's draft, taking Missouri's Drew Lock early in the second round. But the veteran quarterback they traded for earlier in the offseason, Joe Flacco, just made it clear he's not interested in easing the rookie's transition to the NFL.
Listen, I got so many things to worry about. I'm trying to go out there and play good football. I'm trying to go out there and play the best football of my life. So as far as a time constraint and all that stuff, I'm not worried about developing guys or any of that. That is what it is. And like I said, I hope he does develop. But I don't look at that as my job. My job is to go win football games for this football team.
Well, Flacco's remarks had some people upset, including Hall of Famer Kurt Warner, who tweeted, quote, "I don't understand all the quarterbacks saying their job isn't to be a mentor to young quarterbacks coming into the organization. In what part of life, family, business, sports, etc., do you enter where you say, I'm not here to do everything I'm capable of to make us better, including helping the next generation?" I formally agreed with Kurt Warner, but I liked Joe Flacco's explanation a lot. And I thought he said it as concisely and as clearly as possible. And I'm going to say it a different way, but hey, John Elway hired me to win games, and because Von Miller and these guys want to win right now, and so I'm really not here to develop Drew Lock for the future.
Yeah, I made the same transition. I was conflicted at first. I actually played under the mindset of what Kurt Warner was talking about. Then I realized after that experience, what the hell am I thinking? Like, I'm over here helping guys graduate to one day take my job. So once again, another Aisha Curry story when keeping it real goes wrong, right? Joe Flacco's going to hear smoke when he's telling the exact truth about a non-guaranteed climate which we play in the NFL. So, look, the guy is PTSD. He just left Baltimore and got shipped out of town from a quarterback who couldn't even throw. Like, think about that. I helped a guy who can't even throw take my job. Now I'm going to get here with somebody who can't throw, and I'm about to help him too? No way. So I'm with Joe Flacco on this 100%.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Unfortunately, that's the hard stance of the NFL sometimes. You hear these horror stories about guys not wanting to help you. But, I look at when I signed my contract with the Cleveland Browns and the Colts, in fine print, I did not find anywhere where it told me, you know what, I had to be a leader. I had to, help other men. I had to do all the intangible things to help my team win, but I wanted to. In my opinion, it's either in you or not. And as a leader, I took it upon myself as a veteran to help these young guys who have overcome how many obstacles to get to this point. Now they're living out their dream. And if I'm in a position to help them, that's just what I'm going to do. And I think ultimately, Joe Flacco is in a dark place right now. Because when I helped those younger guys, it was because I had the confidence in my ability of how I prepared for the game, how I took care of my body, how I ate, and all these great things. I think he's in a dark place right now from a confidence standpoint, to where he doesn't feel like he can help the guy beside him because he feels like his job is in jeopardy.
First off, explain to me what mentoring is. Like, what is your responsibility as a player? Because I want to help everybody.
Absolutely.
I want to help everybody. I want to help my team. I want to do all those things. I have enough confidence to believe I can tell you everything I know about football. You still can't beat me, because there's nobody tougher than me, and there's nobody from the neck up that's going to be smarter than me when it comes to playing the game. So I look at Joe Flacco. You didn't sign Josh McCown. Right? You didn't sign a middle of June quarterback to mentor a young guy until the bye week. That's not what you signed him for. Right. You signed him to be a starter. And this does not mean that Joe Flacco isn't going to help the kid if the kid asks him questions. You know what? I believe it's incumbent upon a young player to come in and be mentored, to want to be mentored. Right? I believe it's your responsibility to come in there and to study what the professionals do and then ask questions and be prepared.
Clarify your point, though, Mark. Should Joe Flacco want to mentor this guy or not?
Joe Flacco, he doesn't have to come in. It's not his responsibility to grow the kid up. It's the kid's responsibility to be a professional, to understand the game, and then to ask the questions that are appropriate. Joe Flacco won't withhold information. Heck, I talked to Lamar Jackson. Joe Flacco was great. I did a game at the end of the year for Baltimore. He was great. Joe Flacco was great to Lamar Jackson. But you know what Joe Flacco couldn't do? He couldn't talk about running the option. He couldn't say, hey, you know what? Feather that defensive end out a little bit, then cut upfield. Like, Joe Flacco had no knowledge of that offense.
Yeah, you know.
It was great to him, though.
Here's the thing, DeQuell. I want to push back a little bit because I don't want to talk from a position of comfort. And I think sometimes up here, us as broadcasters used to play the game, we can sound like that.
Yeah.
You play linebacker, you play O-line. They got 8, 9 linebackers on the squad. They carry 9 low O-line. How many quarterbacks they carry in today's NFL? Two. Right. Yeah. So we're talking about a whole different dynamic in that position, right? And then if you look at it, mentoring sounds amazing when it comes out of your mouth. But if you notice what you're also saying, you always talk a level down. Look at you. Every time you said mentoring, the young guys, you had security. You talk about mentoring all the new guys.
Well, not necessarily.
I'm talking about mentoring. Look,
well, you can't help anyone that doesn't want to be helped. I get that. We can all agree
mentoring someone who's a real threat for you. That's what I'm talking about. Joe Flacco's in the situation.
Look at the position. You talk about a position of comfort. Joe Flacco has played in plenty meaningful football games. He's won a Super Bowl. He's made a ton of money, but yet still he still feels threatened by this guy. Like, I agree with your point, Mark. He's gonna, as a veteran, you're gonna come in and go to work, wear your hard hat. It's up to the younger guys to understand. Okay, how do I improve myself? When I was a young guy, I had Willie McGinnis in our locker room, and guess what? Hey man, how do you play in the league as long as you did? How do you take care of your body? I asked those questions, so it opened the door for more veterans to come and give me all their knowledge. With him coming out and saying it, I had to sit back a bit. It was like, you don't have to say it, just go out and do it. Yeah. And those things that kind of naturally, organically happen.
But I've been in this position before, too. Like, I walked in the locker room, Bruce Smith there. I'm a second rounder. Same kind of situation. He's an older veteran, not threatened, but at the same time, he's like, 1, I got to see if you're good enough to even mentor.
True.
2, do you want to be mentored? And what kind of relationship can we establish? But before that, Bruce even told me, I wasn't tripping on you. And that's not a good thing or a bad thing. Like, you didn't exist until I saw something in you, and then we established something. Flacco's just basically saying, I got a lot on my plate. And it ain't the second rounder right now. Like, if he wants to jump on my plate, we could deal with that.
It's fair. I mean, his comments were true to heart. It's very fair what he said.
Well, 100%. And it isn't. You know what? He has got so much on his plate, and he's trying to reestablish himself as a quarterback. Maybe not an elite quarterback, whatever that next level of quarterback is. He's trying to reestablish his career. So, I mean, you've got so many things that you're trying to do, and ultimately, like you said, he's got Von Miller. He's got guys out there, Chris Harris Jr., if they get him re-signed. They've got guys out there, Emmanuel Sanders. They have got guys that want to win, that haven't had an opportunity to win. They're bringing him in there for that opportunity. Like, it's not his job. It's the young player's job, to me, to be worth mentoring.
True.
And to understand, and I say this all the time, I used to say this to my son all the time when he became a professional baseball player, just because you play a pro sport doesn't make you a professional. You have got to learn how to be a professional. And it's not Joe Flacco's, he's not diaper changing. That's not his job right now.
Hey, but look, nobody is a better mentor than my man right here, right?
True.
Uncle Jimmy, Darnell, but you notice ain't none of them on his level. Like he always goes, I'm gonna go get somebody to mentor. They gonna be down there. Right. That's how mentoring works. Level down, not level up.
Whitlock and Wiley, Steven Jackson, and Mark Schlereth are back. Time to get antisocial. Our man Darnell Smith.
Smoke. I like that shirt, boy.
Appreciate that, my man. Hold on, I got some beef with Marcellus. Last segment.
What it do?
He talking about I'm not on Whitlock level.
He did say that.
What's wrong with that? Come on,
say
Stat.
that.
All right, Aisha Curry, Joe Flacco, now me. When keeping it real goes wrong. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, man, come on, man. That's off
bad.
air. No,
All right, Darnell,
love it.
what's
Love it.
popping?
Yeah, we're going to start off in the NBA, where 34 years ago, the Knicks won the 1985 NBA draft lottery, the first of its kind. They went on to draft Patrick Ewing with that pick, and soon after the conspiracy theories began, saying the lottery was rigged. With the NBA draft being tonight and the potential all-time player in Zion being on the board, there's been whispers about this year possibly being fixed. So, guys, do you think the NBA draft can be rigged?
I believe that Patrick Ewing draft, as a longtime Pacer fan, and I was at that night, I do believe the envelope was frozen, but I don't believe this year. I don't think actually, I believe the envelope was bent. I used to diagram it on TV. You got Wayman Tisdale in that draft, though, so I was kind of satisfied.
I don't know if it's rigged, but if it is rigged, this is the draft to rig it, to get New York, Zion. Like let's bring New York back, bring the Knicks back. So I'm with it on that. But it's a little suspicious, a little weird. Like technology, things have evolved, and we still doing like ping pong balls. Like,
Right.
I don't know, dog.
Right.
There's a lot of different ways you can do this.
Yes,
Damn ping pong balls, right? Come on, man.
There's no question it's rigged. There's no question. I mean, you're going to go to New York or Chicago or LA, and one of those teams is going to get you, right? Like when you have a small market team, I'm from Denver. You got to get Eastern European dudes. That's what you get when you go to Denver. Milwaukee gets Giannis, right? He's got to build himself into a player.
Yeah,
you don't get the top pick when you're in one of them small markets.
Nah, I wouldn't say it's rigged, but it could be. It definitely could be.
If I was in charge, it would be.
It definitely could be.
Next.
Yeah, sticking with the NBA, where Joel Embiid has been getting trolled nonstop for crying after Kawhi Leonard ended the 76ers season. Some people online view this as being soft, but players around the league have actually been defending Embiid. Rudy Gobert voiced his opinion, saying that only losers think that crying is a sign of weakness. And then Richard Jefferson chimed in as well, tweeting out, playoff wins and losses, if you've never cried, you've never truly cared or were committed.
Let me go first.
Does Embiid deserve criticism for this?
All right.
Go,
Jack.
Stack.
Go
Go,
first.
Stack.
Okay, first of all, the guy from Utah was crying because he didn't make defensive team. That's why he cried.
Gobert.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert. That's totally different.
That is.
You in the playoffs, you have a chance to win a championship, you should be hurt.
Fair.
You've been giving everything you had all year. You get to this point where you had a game 7 and you lose by a shot like that rolls by the basketball guards and go in, you should be hurt. Not because you didn't make all defensive team. Next time, block more shots or be a better defender and you'll make defensive team. That's not a reason to cry.
Okay. I told you what my grandma said. Once you call for attention, you can't hang up.
Right.
Joel Embiid liked to smoke.
He liked to
but
smoke.
He don't like it when the rabbit got the gun.
Right,
You know what I mean? The rabbit got the gun right there. Here's another thing. I ain't having a problem with crying. When I lost my playoff games, I cried every time too. I get it. I know who I cry with and cry around. That part, like right there, I'm not giving you that.
No, that's too much.
And that's not my wife. No, I'm not giving you that because that's forever, and then that relationship may not be forever. I'm just saying, like that's when I knew that people were gonna clown him.
So who is that?
His girlfriend.
His girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
IG model.
Yeah. You remember the young years in the league?
Yeah.
So next year when y'all out the playoffs, what's gonna happen then? She's hopefully she's still there.
I don't know. I just won Super Bowls.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? I just won them. I don't know. Listen, no, there's nothing wrong with crying. There's nothing wrong with crying, but I guarantee you,
Not
if
that
I was
bad.
his teammate, Next year, I mean, there's going to be Kleenex in his life. There's going to be diapers in his life. I mean, I'm going to run hard on him.
Boo-hooing.
Yeah.
I would have just taken this to the locker room.
Yeah, thank you.
Share that moment with your teammates. Why, your IG model.
Don't boo-hoo, though.
Yeah. She over there combing his hair with her fingers. Like,
Don't do all that, man.
get back, girl. Back up.
Let's hit the links. Where John Daly will be using a cart at the PGA Championship this week because he has an arthritic knee. He's the first player to ride a cart at a major since Casey Martin in 1998 and 2002. A lot of players are upset with this decision, with Tiger Woods commenting today, I walked on a broken leg, in reference to his 2008 U.S. Open win. Are you guys like Tiger here? Do you have an issue with John Daly using a cart?
I do. Yeah. Was it the same guy that smoked squares while he played?
Yes.
Isn't it the same guy?
Yes.
Now you want to ride in a cart?
Yeah.
Tiger, I can take it from Tiger. This is a champion. This is one of the best ever. If he played on a broken leg, he has room to complain.
Right.
You can't complain that you've been smoking cigarettes and walking down the course the whole year. That's your fault.
Pounding that
yeah,
drink.
come on, man. Stop it.
Drink, smoking
Stop it,
squares.
Daly. Come on, man.
Look, but to me, this is interesting. They're basically admitting that walking has an impact on your game, which is, everyone who's walked 18 realizes, like, damn, that's a task.
Yes.
You're not carrying your bag, though. So think about it. Like, they're just walking, not carrying a bag. But now someone in a cart, you really think he has an unfair advantage. To me, that's like an interesting conversation.
Have you looked at him? He looks like he's carrying a bag. He might be carrying 2 bags.
He ain't playing today.
To me, you got an arthritic knee because you ain't taking care of your health.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I got it. This is a very unfair advantage. John Daly looks weak here. Tiger's right for calling him.
Yes, sir.
I'll ride a cart, though.
All right, time now for Darnell's question of the day. Darnell, take it away.
The Western Conference Finals starts tonight, and with the Curry brothers playing against each other, this is the first time that two brothers will face off in the NBA Conference Finals. Steve Kerr called the Currys the royal family of the NBA, and it looks like Sonya and Dale are going to flip a coin to see which parent roots for which kid. So I want to ask you guys, do you guys think parents have a favorite child?
Absolutely. Ooh. I mean, absolutely. Just stop. Like, everything in this world, we like, I like that, I don't like that. Like, it's a relative world, So, look, first of all, if I'm them, the parents, I have to root for Seth, because Seth is the underdog. Seth hasn't had the same love, so you always root for the underdog kid. That said, my kids, I have 3 kids. My first is my first, my second is my favorite, my third is my baby girl. So I do have a favorite, if y'all kind of heard what I just said, but I don't tell them that, but
Right.
I tell y'all.
I feel like the Curry's parents, this is the first time that they doing too much and they clout chasing. Because at the end of the day, regardless who lose, they both gonna get a hug. One gonna say congratulations. One gonna say don't worry about it, baby, you got next year. The love is gonna be the same. It's just one gotta lose and one gotta win, but they gonna love them the same. They gonna get a hug from daddy. They both gonna get a hug from daddy. They both gonna get a hug from mommy. One gonna say congratulations. One gonna say get better next year.
Why clout chasing though? Just because they running with this?
Because at the end of the day, we know y'all can make it seem like y'all trying to pick who y'all rooting for. You rooting for both of your kids. You gonna be there cheering them both when they make shots.
Well, don't dodge those, Steve. Do parents have favorite kids?
Yes, of course, no question.
Yeah.
But they love you the same.
Yeah.
I've provided for my family more. My mama might love me. I mean, might say I'm her favorite, but she loved all of us the same. She treated all of us the same.
That's real.
You know what I mean? But I am the breadwinner. I get treated special by all my aunts, not just my mom, my whole family. It's just the truth.
That's real.
Of course, you got favorites depending on which one pisses you off and which one doesn't, right? I mean, and you think you have favorite kids. Wait till you have grandkids. I don't even like my kids anymore. I love my granddaughters, right? My kids are like, whatever. You can have them.
That's so good.
Obviously, I don't have kids, but I just think about this through my parents' eyes. My brother is a better person than me, and that makes him the favorite person in my family. I've done a little bit better than my brother, and, mama goes on vacation because of me and lives in a house and things like that. But I think my brother is the favorite kid in my family.
Hey, you touching something, because regardless of all the success I had, I've always tell people, I look up to my brother and I'm like my brother. Me having kids by different, he has one mother, kid's mother, he's married, working, he's been doing it the right way. So I might be the breadwinner, but my brother is the backbone of my family.
Damn, that's the same in my family. My sister's a better person, too.
You touched right there. You touched right there.
Say she liked your brother better.
Everybody in my family loves my brother better. My brother, he is the gold standard.
Yeah, my brother is.
Married,
That's
2
awesome.
kids.
But everybody answered them Whitlock calls because they know money talks. What are you doing? What you doing, Jason? I hate your butt, but send that cash app. That cash app.
We ain't talked in a while. I really ain't come to your wedding nothing like that, but can I hold $5?
All right, welcome back. Whitlock and Wiley, Mark Schlereth, and DeQuell Jackson are back. Let's move to New York, where the Giants have made it clear they plan to be patient with rookie quarterback Daniel Jones, with general manager Dave Gettleman recently saying Jones could sit behind Eli Manning for as long as 3 years. But now NJ.com suggests the Giants' patience could be making a mistake, with several recent quarterbacks like Carson Wentz and Jared Goff starting as rookies and having success early in their careers. The question here is, will sitting behind Eli help or hurt Daniel Jones?
I think this will help tremendously, actually. If you look at all the hysteria and people and the criticism about him being the 6th overall pick and how he's going to be just a bust. Okay, this will give time for that to just settle down. 2, you're going to learn from someone who learned micro movements in the pocket because they're not that athletic in Eli Manning. So you're an athletic talent, and you have to work on some of your skills and technique and some of the mechanics. That's what Eli possesses as his great attribute. So it's a little osmosis. Peanut butter and jelly can work on while you're sitting there letting this criticism die down and starting to really learn the position in a different way to complement your game. I think it's a great benefit.
I do too. And you know, you mentioned Carson Wentz. Well, I mean, really, Carson Wentz had that season where he was tremendous after his rookie season, his second year. Then he tore his ACL in a game against the Rams. And last year, you know, he had injury issues then again last year, and it was Nick Foles who won the Super Bowl. It was Nick Foles who got them back into the playoffs. I look at any time you have an opportunity to sit and learn your craft from a guy who's done it and done it at a very high level, that's a good thing. The other thing is when you're a young quarterback that has, you have a supreme gift of athleticism, your default mechanism is from the neck down. When things break down, your tendency as a young player is to take off and trust the athleticism that's been there your entire life. It's something that's God-given. Hand of God reached down, touched you, and said, you're going to be a great athlete, right? And so that's always your default mechanism. You have to learn that position. Your default mechanism needs to be from the neck up, because if it's not, you're not going to last very long. The guys like that, I picked up the ball one time. I picked up a fumble one time.
Yes.
And I thought I was going to score. I got 3 yards, and I'm telling you, I got hit by about 14 people. They were bringing guys off the sideline to hit me. Those guys are angry, and they're fast, and they'll devastate a young quarterback.
Yeah, I just think this question is too early to answer. I think now if you go into training camp, you go into preseason games, and this guy has shown he can command an offense. He can, the ball spinning from his arm, and he has this leadership qualities. And you know what? You start hearing that chatter around the locker room. This guy could actually help us, and he's sitting. Then now the question lures like, okay, should this guy be playing right away, or should he be sitting? Ideally, right, for a quarterback to play, for a young quarterback to come in and step in and play right away, he's got to learn on the fly. But if he can sit back and Eli can manage this team at least halfway through the season, if he can somewhat be a molecule of who we've known him to be when he was great, I think it benefits Daniel Jones. But if Eli comes out and has any reminder of what he was last season, I think this kid has to play right.
Let's be clear here, though, about Matt Lombardo's story for NJ.com. It's pretty good. The last quarterback selected 6 or higher to not start a game as a rookie was Phillip Rivers. So the trend in the NFL is the completely other direction. Trial by fire is how they're teaching quarterbacks now. We used to, a guy sits 2 or 3, 4 years back in the old days, the Tom Landry days, and all the way up to Aaron Rodgers seemed to have benefited from sitting behind Brett Favre. But the new trend is about putting the guys out there, the Russell Wilsons and these other young guys, and letting them grow up in the middle of the fire. That's what the Giants are going to potentially deny Daniel Jones. So when he does get out there, he'll be further behind, perhaps Dwayne Haskins and Kyler Murray.
Yeah, and I mean that there's definitely that part of it, right?
Right.
But I've also seen the opposite, where a guy is not ready, and a team is not very good, and a guy takes a beating. I mean, I'll never forget Patrick Ramsey starting for the Washington Redskins when Spurrier was the coach there. I mean, that guy. There were, like, I've said this before, but there are people doing 5 to 10 in the state pen that did less to get there than what Spurrier did to that poor kid. There was no hot routes. There was no, I mean, that offense was just drop back and we're going to out-athlete you. And,
Right.
you know, you don't do that in the NFL. So I've seen guys like David Carr get ruined. I've seen guys like Patrick Ramsey get ruined by playing too early and playing too early on a team that's not very good.
Yeah, but maybe I'm just I live in my own little bubble, but I feel like we all bring out the kid gloves when it evolves around the quarterback. In any other position, if you can play, you play. With this position, I get it. There's a lot that goes on, and you can speak more about it than I could. I was tackling people all my career.
Right.
But I think if the guy shows he's mature enough to handle the New York media, he can handle the locker room, and he can galvanize guys together, and guys believe in him, I think he should be the guy. Now, we don't know if Eli has 3 years or has 2 years of talent left.
But you know what's crazy about Eli? He's so Teflon. Last year, you remember a couple of years ago, they tried to sit him down. How did that go? So, you know,
Right.
if they say he has 3 years, and he showed flashes last year, he went back to like a 2015 version of himself. But look at these guys. You said Phillip Rivers in the top 6 who didn't start his first year. That's a great outlier. Patrick Mahomes wasn't top 6, but still sat. Josh Rosen, wish now he could have sat and waited that one out. Why you put the kid gloves on quarterbacks is just simple for me. When we played, knowing other positions around you on defense was a luxury. Like, if I knew what the D tackle did and the linebackers and the safety, it helped, but it wasn't a necessity. You get under center. If you don't know what everyone is doing on your side of the ball and anticipating what they're doing in disguise coverage, and then learn that in 3 months when you were 7 and 17 in the ACC.
Guys have done it before.
Okay, great, but they're not me. My name is Daniel Jones. You signed me. Please let me grow. Don't step on this flower before it can blossom.
I will tell you one other thing real quick about playing. In a position like what you played or what I played or what you played, when things aren't going well for me, like I'm having a tough time, a tough day, I can turn it into a street fight. I may not grade out really well, but I'm not going to cost my team a game.
Right.
Like you can turn into ultra aggressive, and you're still going to make some plays, right? Quarterback, you can't all of a sudden say, well, let me just bully these dudes, right? That doesn't work that way.
All right, before we go, I'd like to say a word or two about the Cleveland Cavaliers hiring a 66-year-old John Beilein as their new coach. On the surface, the move is laughable and disconcerting. Beilein is the oldest first-time non-interim NBA coach in history. The last time the NBA went this old, the San Antonio Spurs tapped UNLV's 61-year-old Jerry Tarkanian to be their head coach. It was a disaster. Tark feuded with ownership over the signing of Avery Johnson as the team's point guard of the future and was fired after 20 games. Beilein has a low bar to clear. I think he'll do it. If you're paying attention, you realize the NBA has adopted Beilein's two-guard, three-point crazy offensive style. Beilein started putting his forwards in the corners, scissor-cutting, and jacking long-range jumpers in the early 1980s when he was coaching a small college basketball team. The system eventually made West Virginia dangerous and the University of Michigan a national powerhouse before Steph Curry had won his first NBA title. Beilein was meant to coach in the modern NBA. Can an old fart like Beilein coexist with the modern NBA player? It depends on if the player values winning above the feeling of being in control. Too many of us in the media associate LeBron James as representative of the modern NBA day player. The truth is, James represents a handful of super talented outliers. LeBron James, James Harden, Chris Paul, Kyrie Irving, Russell Westbrook prefer being individual systems. Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, Giannis, the Greek Freak, and countless other players, including Kevin Durant, don't mind bending to the demands of a system that creates winning. It's the subtle difference between chasing Michael Jordan or Larry O'Brien, MVPs or titles. It's easier to win MVPs pounding the ball in isolation at the top of the key. It's easier to win titles moving well off the ball. Steph Curry's style of play continues to sweep the league. That's why John Beilein got the Cavaliers job and the Lakers passed on Tyronn Lue. The Cavaliers just doubled down on what they tried to do when they hired David Blatt in 2014. 18 months later, LeBron rejected Blatt as Cleveland's coach and forced the Cavs to replace Blatt with his top assistant, Ty Lue. History is repeating itself in Los Angeles. The Lakers hired Frank Vogel and Jason Kidd in an attempt to keep pace with the modern NBA and satisfy LeBron's need for control. The bottom line is clear. Steph Curry, John Beilein, and the modern NBA are winning the war against LeBron. All right, welcome back. Whitlock and Wiley, Steven Jackson, and Chris Haynes are back. Let's move to Philadelphia, where the 76ers are regrouping after their crushing loss on Kawhi Leonard's miracle shot in Game 7 Sunday. Now some people are saying big changes could be coming to the team, with NBC's Tom Haberstroh reporting a rival NBA executive says Philly may explore trading Ben Simmons to the Lakers for none other than LeBron James. This is fascinating, and I think this trade, if LeBron James' primary interests were winning, this would make a lot of sense for LeBron James to go to Philadelphia and win. You can win in Philadelphia, right? I don't think he's going to win here in Los Angeles. This trade would make sense for LeBron James.
It's absurd on his face. Think about one, you got to. Let's just talk about logistically. You got to move your whole family, go over there. Okay, but we're still focused.
God, I hope he can survive.
Have you? Hold on, Mr. KC and Indy, who got a taste of this LA and ain't left yet. LeBron just got here. He's like, I got little Bronny Jr. up there. I can't do that. I ain't doing that. Nobody leave. Look, Puffy, Jay-Z, all them New York is still here. Everybody in LA. All right, that's one. Here's the thing. Focused on winning. That team's going to look different next year. We don't know what's going to happen with free agency, Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, whatever. You may be going to 76ers in Philadelphia, and they got Embiid and his knees and all his issues, and LeBron. Like, you're not guaranteed anything else. We got the same agent. You swapping me out for little brother? That doesn't feel good to me if I'm the king. So I don't see anywhere where this really has any substance. It doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. If Philly can get LeBron, if any kind of way with sign and trade, however they got to make it work, yes, I love it. Sign Jimmy Butler back, LeBron and Embiid, I think that's perfect. I think to give up Ben Simmons for LeBron, even though LeBron is at the end of his career, I like it because that gets Philly to the finals every year, damn near. That gets them a chance to be in the Eastern Conference Finals every year. And I just like it. I think it's a better situation for LeBron at his age. If he wants to
Versus
win now.
the young core here, we forget.
He's not going, it's going to be another season. If it's the same team in L.A., it's going to be the same season. Yeah. Out of the playoffs, talking about what LeBron going to do this summer.
Ingram, Kuzma, Ball is not better than.
This is the Western Conference. LeBron got a wake-up call.
I give you that.
This is not the Eastern Conference. You can have anybody on team and get to the playoffs.
It take 48 wins out here to
yes,
get in.
exactly. You got to get at least 50.
8 seed.
Yes.
Let's remember this, that when LeBron James was going through his free agency process this last go-around, the Philadelphia 76ers were one of the few teams who actually got a meeting with his agent, Rich Paul. With that being said, there ain't no way in hell this is happening. LeBron is not, look, we're talking about if this was strictly basketball reasons. Yeah, if it's strictly basketball reasons, yes, of course. But me too, Marcellus. I've gotten used to this LA weather.
Say it.
When y'all call, I'm like, when? What time?
You and me both.
What time? I'm here. LeBron got his whole family. How you gonna do Space Jam? How you gonna do Space Jam from over there in Philly?
Give him that private jet. I'll be right back in a couple hours.
Come on, that
Chris,
ain't
you're
happening.
making my point. So the priority isn't winning. It's not basketball right now. It's Space Jam. It's the shop. It's the 1,000th version of a Muhammad Ali documentary.
The 1,000th.
Man,
Come on, Marcel. It was enlightening, Marcel. Whitlock, you didn't find anything else in the Muhammad Ali documentary that you learned
You know how many books, documentaries, movies have been done on Muhammad Ali? LeBron and them need to quit it. Look, if this was about basketball,
that's not fair,
Philadelphia makes a lot of sense.
Not fair.
What?
LeBron even said when he came here, that it was bigger than
Exactly.
basketball. He even said, like, my family, other things are part of this equation. We can't fault a man who's, like, thinking outside of himself selfishly. He's like, I got a lot of things to carry, including my family, happiness with the wife, happiness with the son, consistency, them being stable. Like, come on.
Okay,
man.
And he still, and with all that, he still had an MVP season.
Yeah,
he
he
still had
did.
MVP
28.
numbers.
Who?
Those numbers are damn near the same.
What?
28, 8, and 8.
That's
The man didn't make the playoffs. Stop it, Stat.
Not him. A team, his team, not him. His team
Westbrook
didn't make the
had
playoffs.
MVP type numbers too. We need to take a deeper look at these numbers. They don't say what people think. Look. Just let's say Eugenie Bus, listening to well, he's worried about his family, and I mean, my God, who's going to oversee the shop? I mean, my God, I mean, if I'm the
You
Lakers,
ain't right, man.
I love that voice. I love the Genie voice.
That's what it looks like right now, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying.
That's
Okay,
what it looks
but
like.
let's-
From the Lakers, though,
okay,
the way they
well,
handle the coaching staff.
Say this did
They're
happen.
trying to screw LeBron.
So now you got a roster of Ben Simmons and Lonzo Ball. How in the world is that going to help you in the backcourt?
That part.
What are we doing? That's
Can't
two
get
of the
no
same
worse.
player.
First of all, Chris,
That part.
you don't put Lonzo and Ben Simmons on the same level. The story's over with. The Lonzo hype is over.
Well,
Lonzo's not
don't
Ben
do
Simmons.
that.
I'm talking
Defensively,
strictly.
he's already good. If he stay healthy,
No,
offensively,
but I'm
get a
talking
shot.
strictly.
They both need a shot.
Yeah, I'm
not
talking
Ben
strictly
Simmons,
from the
No, he's
broke
not
jump
Ben
shot.
Simmons.
I'm talking strictly from that, the broke
No,
jump
no,
shot.
I get it, but Lonzo can sit on the bench and get traded someplace else if he doesn't like it or whatever. They got a chance to get Ben Simmons and some other pieces because it would take some other pieces to get
That was number
the
2 pick.
financials to match up. It would give the Lakers, look, I've said it and I'm going to keep saying it. The Genie Bus and they're over LeBron. This is just a headache that they're dealing with right now. And they don't. Is it going to be a headache we're dealing with for months? Is it a headache we're dealing with for another year? Or are we going to have to survive the last 3 years?
Is it
of
a
this
migraine
headache?
or a slight headache?
It's a migraine.
Migraine.
headache
Oh, I didn't know that.
That they don't think it's curable, but they got to deal with it. And if they could, if Sixers came in here with the right offer and they could move on from LeBron, and LeBron could go win and still be relevant, rather than this LeBron that's out of the playoffs, it's better for the league. It's better for Lebron.
It's not better for the
everybody.
Lakers, though. I can't do the voice. You kill the voice. I can't do
I was going to try. I was going to try.
We got the most prime time games. This is her daddy bill, Showtime. Jeannie gave Kobe $50 million when she knew Kobe was going down the hill with no brakes because they put meat in the seats. Like Showtime, you got to remember the DNA of this franchise.
Nobody's going to come see Ben.
Not like LeBron.
LeBron.
No, I'm not.
But I agree with you.
No,
I feel like the way they handled this coach situation,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did something else to LeBron. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even the way they handled the coach situation, where they didn't give him what he wanted, and the other team would have gave him what he wanted. They showing you that we're bucking the system against what LeBron wants. They showing you that.
I don't even think they're bucking the system, Stack. I think they are acknowledging what the rest of the league has. LeBron's model has expired. That's why John Beeline got this job, man. The whole league is about system and coaching systems and not an individual system. And somebody playing iso ball at the top of the key, just know it's not as fashionable as it used to be. The league has moved on. That's why they brought Vogel in. And if they can unload LeBron and he can get someplace, because it would be not only better for LeBron, it would be better for the league. LeBron needs to be playing for championships these next year and the year after that. That's what's best for LeBron, the league, and everybody.
If they force my hand and I'm LeBron James, I'm not playing anymore. Like, I'm not going somewhere else and you force my hand. Like, the power struggle, that's not what my legacy needs to see in terms of this is how I end my career. I got forced out of playing for the Lakers.
But this is the place you wanted to go, though.
Yeah, exactly. So now you're going to go somewhere else? Like, LeBron's not having that.
Right.
No trade clause or whatever. He's not going.
Okay, let's think it through, though, Marcellus. Let's say he gets through this offseason and he's looking at, damn, I got another roster that won't be championship competitive.
It's his
What's
wizard
he
years.
say now?
It's his wizard
What do
years.
he say now?
I don't think he goes.
He's money the
Can
same.
he
What
be
he say now?
happy? Can he
be happy? The sun is out. Yeah, he can be happy. The sun is out.
Every day.
There's something going on every day. There's a party to go to here. There's a
We talking about
meeting here.
LeBron
If
James.
me, I would go to Philly.
Hey, Whitlock,
I would
when he
go to Philly
came
about
over here,
With all that?
he said, there's nothing that I could accomplish in this league that I haven't already
He said it.
That lets you know where he's at.
It is something he can another championship.
I understand, but
he might not care about that though.
Yeah,
but does
he's in a
3 to
different
4,
place.
like in terms of how you're going to be?
It doesn't matter. If Steph gets his 4th,
I'm just saying, how are they going to regard? Is Steph ever going to be top 5 all time?
I don't know. If he keeps
Y'all know.
If he keeps
Y'all know he's not. So the 3 to 4 is going to make a difference. 3 to 6, if he catches Jordan, he got a conversation. He catches Kobe, maybe. 3 to 4, is that really going to change it for LeBron narrative?
But all I'm saying is each year where it can add something to get better every year, that's what you're playing for.
Yeah, that's
not to just be complacent because you're in LA.
I'm going to tell you this.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
He goes through another year like this, and people like me and Lakers fans talking trash on him, he's going to get tired of being out. This weather ain't going to be good enough. Uncle Jimmy's here to help us with our approval ratings. You got any thoughts on the show so far?
Yeah, I want to get to the big dummy of the day. The big dummy of the day is somebody gonna sit up and talk about LeBron James making the Muhammad Ali documentary. Who the hell don't want to see the Muhammad Ali documentary? It ain't like it's the Cuba Gooding Jr. documentary.
Oh,
You didn't see the last 30 Muhammad Ali documentaries?
He is the greatest. Come on with this,
that's
man.
real. That's real. Take 31.
Your mouth. What's wrong with you?
I'm ready for the 31st one.
Here's a highlight from our discussion from earlier about Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson wishes he could return to Duke. So do I.
I mean this 100%. If I could, Whitlock, I would stay another year. What's the cue card? What's the cue card? Because I really mean this. What the hell? Nobody forcing you to leave, bro. Oh, that money is.
All right, we had a discussion about whether Zion was a can't-miss prospect. I think he's a can't-miss prospect. Uncle Jimmy, what's your take?
He's a can't miss. He a can't miss, all right. He can't miss a meal. And that's what I'm gonna say about him. You and him got some of the same problems. Both of y'all got a weight problem. Can't wait to eat. That boy is 6'7", 280 pounds, 18 years old. That boy the perfect size to do your job. I remember as a kid, boy, you couldn't even jump over the Sunday paper without getting a nosebleed. Now, you think this boy gonna run up and down the court chasing NBA players with all that baby fat? Now, let me tell you this, Uncle Jimmy's a baby fat specialist.
Oh, here we
So
go.
I know about baby fat.
Here we go.
And despite contrary belief, they ain't trying to cure baby fat down in the South like you think they are. As a matter of fact, in some parts of the South, it's embraced. Hey, man, Uncle Jimmy is from the South, clacky-lacky. You understand? I done ran them streets. I used to attend a nice Southern church that preached the real gospel. Talk about the religion, talk about how God changed water into Kool-Aid. See, I know a little bit about that right there. See, you go down South Carolina. You know what an appetizer is down there?
Yeah, what's that?
Half a pound of fried bacon. You know, back home, they used to call Zion fast break. But you know what? I figured that out. That ain't nothing but breakfast spelled backwards. See, Zion is a big Charles Barkley fan.
Yeah.
He said he hope he get to be as big as Charles Barkley. I told him, hell, finish that burrito and that glass of water, you just might. You know, all Zion thinks, Zion don't give a damn about the NBA, man. Zion just care about that press box up there for you journalists. He trying to be like you and Charles Barkley. That's all he want to do. He ain't giving a damn about all the rest of this here y'all talking about, man.
Talk and eat, huh? That's all you want to do.
Hey, man, look, Charles Barkley been in the league 25 years, still trying to get rid of baby fat. He's still trying to grow into his role.
Oh,
look, the NFL got the Wonderlic test.
Yeah.
Now, what the NBA better do is give Zion the hot water cornbread test. They need to ask him if he know how to make hot water cornbread. If he know how to make hot water cornbread, they got a problem. Hey, man, listen. Zion is the next Jamarcus Russell.
Y'all
remember Jamarcus Russell? Yeah. That great big old tall kid. Hey, he got stuck on that purple syrup. Zion gonna do the same thing. He gonna come down there and get stuck on that Aunt Jemima syrup. He gonna be shooting free throws like this. When he go to shoot, he gonna be licking maple syrup from up under his arm. Ball gonna be all sticky. Hey, Hey, man, look, they're going to give that boy a multi-million-dollar contract and a one-year subscription to DoorDash. The NBA going to be in for hell on wheels. Y'all just wait.
A subscription to DoorDash.
Talking about he can't miss. His ass can't miss a meal. That's what he can't miss.
Oh, man.
All right, let me get to my approval
Shine on
rating.
him, Unc. Shine on him.
For
Oh,
Zion Williamson, I got him at almost a perfect score.
all wall, baby.
24 job performance, 24 all-time greatness, 25 in character.
What? What?
23 in authenticity for a total of 97.
Shine on him,
Or
Unc.
is that a 96?
Paul Wall, baby. Character and authenticity. Y'all know I gave him a 79. He close to a GOAT, but not there. That character, you ain't got to lie, Craig. Over there, I want to stay another year, but you know, they forcing me to go, but they really not forcing me. Then you're not being authentic. Come on, Zion, we buying into your brand. You ain't got to lie to us. Your shoe blew apart. He should have left in, but he stayed a few more months for this lottery, man. Come on, kill the truth, brother.